and welcome. I'm here with a beer in my hairy hunk glass there. So hairy. Yeah, apart from where you actually want hair on your body. So yeah, hating that I'm probably going to start to sound like a stuck record or maybe even a skipping CD. I'm back with another disc rock video. So there's going to be kind of two parts to this video. It's Saturday night tonight. I did shoot some video last night that I'm gonna making up words again. My brain is just not functioning. This is the first beer I've had, I will also add, by the way. So yeah, the second half of this video is what I recorded last night, which was Friday night, after about probably 5 beers, and I don't make sense at the best of times, so I just take it as bonus footage. It's talking about the Saturn collection and what games have pinholes and damage and things and all that stuff, and what I've been doing with that. So what is this first half of the video about? It is about not my neighbours constantly banging, which they always fucking do, and when I'm trying to sit here and talk, it breaks my chain of thought. But yes, I was thinking to myself, maybe I should think of a way of doing a kind of scientific study on this disc rock, and I was thinking, yeah, but it's going to take time. Like, I'm going to have to, put discs in different conditions, and yeah, I just don't have the motivation for that. And then I was in the garden today because the weather's been pretty decent, the sun's been out and all that stuff, and basically I was going around my garden emptying plant pots that had dead plants and things in them into my little compost heap. Yes, pathetic and sad, I know. And one particular hanging basket, it had some chard in, and I was eating the leaves as salad last year until it got whitefly and they all died. But anyway, one problem I have had with the chard and my salad leaf and things like that was birds pecking at my fucking leaves. So one way you can scare birds off is actually by hanging CDs. So we have this. This is a Harley Davidson CD. I think it came in the 90s in a kind of Harley Davidson aftershave gift pack or something along those lines. It's basically got some shit rock music on it, I imagine. I don't exactly know how I ended up. I think somebody bought this for my brother maybe in the 90s, and he probably sold like a job lot of CDs to me, and this was in there. I never would have listened to it or anything. But yeah, this has been hanging in my garden since before last summer. So this has basically been through kind of autumn. Well, it's been through spring, summer, autumn, and now it's spring again. So whilst it's possibly not actually been out there for 12 months, it's certainly been through all of the seasons. There's been all sorts of temperatures out there, probably down to like -5. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to switch to my trusty iPhone that's terrible for my analysis of this disc, and to be honest, this disc would probably still play. As an idea, I could do that as well. I have a CD player downstairs. So yes, I'm going to show you the state of this CD after it's been kind of through all the seasons, and kind of, I guess I'm going to analyse what that tells us about maybe the CD based games in my collection, and what maybe could happen to them or couldn't happen to them depending on the state of this. So without further ado, do a big shit.
So as you can see, I've removed the lace, the shoelace that was kind of used to hang up the CD, and I'm now going to put this CD here up in front of the light bulb and give it a check. Now you can see there instantly we have some damage. Yeah, there's a little scratch on the top layer there. You probably won't be able to see it. You can just about see it there where my fingernail is, to the left of the end of my finger. So that's probably caused by when the wind's been blowing. It's basically been kind of knocking against the chains on the hanging basket. But that's actual damage. What we're interested in here is pinholes and things like that. So there are a few pinholes. There's a little cluster towards the edge of the disc there, and yeah, there are quite a few pinholes. So what I'm going to do after looking at this, I'm going to look at a CD that's been stored in a similar fashion before this was put outside. So when this disc was stored inside, I'm going to get a disc that was stored with it, and I'm going to have a look at that, see if it has any pinholes and compare them. So I'm going to get a disc now, and it'll be a bit of a jump cut. So I've picked a CD here. It is from 2006. It's an Eddie Halliwell Mix Mag CD. Came free with the magazine back in the day, and you can see there's a little bit of damage there, and that does show up over here as a pinhole, but we can see that is actually caused by a scratch and not how it's been stored. So this has been stored in a CD wallet with all the other CDs, and I've had a look at the other CDs, and I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that look at this one again with all of its pinholes, that the temperature and the weather conditions outside have got to this disc. What I will say is I'm surprised at how good a condition this CD is in, for saying it's been outside for so long. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it downstairs and see how it gets on in the CD player. I'm not going to be able to show you or let you listen to the music playing on CD player, because obviously there will be copyright issues. They are kind of classic rock tracks and things, if I remember correctly, on here, so I don't want to get my channel taken down for a copyright strike. So I'm now down at the Technics Mini Hi-Fi here. The CD, it turned out, only had 11 tracks on, so probably not the best example of a CD to kind of put this kind of study to the test, I guess you'd say. But I am at the treadmill, which has a handy place to put a beer and also a fan to keep the beer cool. Anyway, yeah, I went through the CD, played the first 10 or 15 seconds of every track on the disc, because I'm not going to sit here and listen to this music for like 45 minutes to an hour, because it's rock music that I really don't care about. But if I just... it does seem to be pretty much playing all of the tracks as it should, and I am very kind of impressed at the durability of the CD.
So as you can see, the hairy hunk is back in the game room. So I was very impressed with that CD and the longevity of it, just the fact that it's been outside for so long, and it seems to play in the Technics CD player fine. I'm not really sure what we can take away from this, other than CDs are pretty damn durable. That did have quite a few pinholes in it that don't seem to affect the actual playing of the CD too much. Whether that is due to error correction or just, I don't know, or the fact that the reflective layer is intact and it's just pinholes of light kind of coming through the printed kind of label aspect of the disc. So as I said before, the second half of this video is just me rambling on about, pardon me, the beer is trying to escape me and attack the screen. Yeah, the second half of the video is me just rambling bollocks. Actually, that was the first half as well. The whole of this video is just me rambling bollocks. But yeah, it was filmed last night after about 5 beers, so if you don't want to watch a load of shit, I would stop watching the video now. But if you are interested in me just throwing random words out that make no sense because my brain just goes, then you can carry on watching. Do as you want. Hairy Hunk signing out.
So I've been enjoying a beer or several in the game room, and I've finally gotten round to checking through all of my Saturn games for pinholes and damage, etc. Before I get into kind of an update of that, I just want to give a little tip. Games such as, I was going to say Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil's in the pinhole pile, so I'll pick another game at random if I can find one. Steep Slope Sliders comes in one of these plastic clamshell cases, and these are really difficult. I mean, I haven't really got anything to hold the camera, but they're like, they just do not open, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying here to open, they do not open. The way to open these game cases, although I will add disclaimer that this might cause some damage to the front of the case over time, the kind of outer clear plastic bit. But yeah, the way to open these cases easily is to take, say, your thumb and apply some pressure towards kind of the left, towards the spine of the case, and then if I take my little finger at the same time, I mean, this is it is not working, but if I have both hands I can do this. So if I kind of push that way with that thumb, and then it just opens like that. So you basically just need to provide a bit of force that way, and then the game case will just come straight open, because otherwise these games are so hard to open, these game cases, and when you do eventually open them, the case just explodes open and the disc flies out, and it's just so fucking annoying. So anyway, update. Yes, I've been through all of these games now, all of my Saturn games, and checked. These ones here all have pinholes. Over here we've got about 100 games that are in good condition with no pinholes. Over here we're probably talking 50-60 games, just going off kind of how big I know my collection generally is. Sorry, this damn beer's repeating on me. But yes, the thing is, the issue that is annoying me is people that are saying that they have no games with any pinholes whatsoever. It's like, well, people will say that, and then they'll say like, oh, disc rot's not a thing. Well, like in my previous video I said, well, it either is a thing or it isn't. You've either got pinholes in your games and it's not an issue, or it does exist. Because I've definitely got a big stack of games here that I'm pointing out with my smelly sock that definitely have pinholes in, and these are the games that are good. There doesn't seem to be anything that I can decipher that designates a game that will possibly have pinholes. I mean, we've got the EA published titles here in the solid disc, the good games over there, and then we've got EA titles down there. So apart from generally the discs that are heavily printed on the top, they tend to have pinholes. I don't know, because of that, whether they are pinholes in the reflective layer, or the reflective layer is just that opaque that if there is a pinhole in, you know, the layer where the kind of label, or I guess artwork you say, is printed onto the top of the disc, whether it's just a hole in that layer and not actually the reflective layer. But yeah, I've been through all my games, and they are the ones down there that generally have pinholes and things. And these little sleeves that I've got, I've been across here and got this far putting games into these sleeves. These sleeves are fucking terrible quality. I got these off Amazon. I don't know if you can see, like, the edge on that is terrible, the way that's been cut and sealed, and they're just like so thin it's ridiculous. There's no weight to them whatsoever. But yes, I'm probably going to put a kind of paper divider in here, designating that all games from here onwards are solid, good, no pinhole discs, and anything afterwards is pinholed and damaged and all of that bad stuff. Not necessarily bad, I don't know, because there's obviously mixed reports flying around about this stuff. But yeah, I will have kind of some way of dividing between the two categories, good and bad, and then I can monitor, and if pinholes start creeping into these games up here, then I will know that things are getting worse over time. But I will be kind of sleeving up all of the discs within the cases, because PAL Saturn games just have shit cases, and they're really prone to damage. So yes, the saga continues, and I've probably not made any sense in this video because I'm drinking beer, and I've not ate much, to be honest, but I've been drinking beer and sorting through my Saturn collection and all that stuff. So sorry if I've not made sense. I've tried to make sense, but that's beer for you. Yeah, what can you do?